Three Good Things by Caitlin Atten Osias. The family of Tonya Anya was afflicted by an unusual strain of strangeness. It wasn't anything you could get infected with, and it wasn't anything severe or life-threatening. It was, if Tonya were completely honest about it, nearly humiliating. This day had not been a problem until Tonya's teacher revealed that the next project for the class was one day. Bring a photo of your family, the teacher instructed, and tell us three good things about them. Tanya has been avoiding this scenario. What right did Tanya have to tell others about his family? He was sure they would make fun of him. Tanya returned home with these disturbing ideas on his mind. Asang, his sister, noticed something was off right away. "What's up, Tanya?" she said, her face covered with a whirlwind of feathers. Tanya answered, "I'm okay, ate. Do you think you'll need another birdhouse?" Asang was born with an ability to communicate with birds. She was responsible for interpreting complex patterns of tweets, hoots, and thrills. But it was Asang's ability to balance that taught Anya the basics of language. Though she was still beautiful at times, with dozens of birdhouses in different sizes, and a color sitting on top of her head, Asang proudly carried these birdhouses and never complained about their weight. Aside from an extra set of hands to help her brush her hair, she frequently needed assistance in building new birdhouses as her winged companions had high standards. "Not now," Asang replied before turning to answer a question from a long-tailed sparrow. "But I'll need you woodworking expertise soon." Tanya entered the house. Something wasn't quite right, as his mother saw immediately. "Is there something troubling you, Tanya?" she asked, as she stirred the pot and the words of "hot" and "school" erupted from the back of her head before disappearing into the background. Tanya answered, "I'm okay, Nanay. Do you need any assistance with words?" Tanya's mother suffered from condition that caused her thoughts to spill out into the open. Most of the time she was able to handle the wordy emissions to the point where they vanished, unnoticed yet. There were instances when the words were firmer, more determined, and they declined to go away gently. Tanya had been asked to wrestle the stubborn ones onto a page several times. This was important when Nana was cooking, since some words did not go well with the soup. For the time being, I believe they're under control, even when the words pork and soft floated out of Nana's head. She smiled and said, "I'll tell you if the sinigang is in trouble." Tonyo went to his room upstairs. His father arrived just as he was about to enter his room. "You appear to be sad. Tonyo, is there anything I can do to assist you?" Tonyo looked at his father's forearms and said, "I'm fine, Tatay. Do you need to be replanted soon?" Tanya's father was born with the skin that resembles dirt, and fondness for all things botanical, the vivid colors and aromas of plant if life thrive in their garden. His father, on the other hand, went a step farther. His tata was also known for growing seedlings on his forearms, especially plants with delicate constitutions. After some time, these plants would need to be removed to a more convenient pot. Tonya frequently assisted his father with the transport process. Tata stroked his hair and said, "Not till next month, I believe. It'll be dinner in half an hour." Tanya began to ponder while he was alone in his room. He was still thinking about Awesom's birds for dinner, which made the whole family laugh. His nanay came in and sang him a lullaby, the words sleep and love pouring softly upon him like rain. Then his father came down and told him a story. Fragrance of leaves and dirt blended in perfectly with the story of the Datu and the Diwata. Tonyo had two good things to say about his family by the time he got to school. The third was still a mystery to him. When it was his time to speak, Tonyo got on his feet, summoned his confidence, and went forward, clutching a photograph of his family in his hand. The first nice thing about my family is that there is never a dull time, he stated as he flipped the photo over with Osang's birds, Nanay's words, and Tate's plants. There was always something exciting to look at, work on, or fight with. The second nice thing about my family that help each other out no matter what the situation is. We're there for each other, no problem is too huge or too little, and we're ready to offer a hand. The third good thing, Tanya coughed, his gaze falling to the photograph in his hands. The third good thing, Tanya observed this odd family looking back at him in the photograph. He saw his father's arms with seedlings sprouting out. He saw his mother smiling, the word happy coming out from her ear. And he saw his sister sitting straight head in a perfect balance with the birds trapped in midair, flight near their homes. And he noticed himself, the group most normal person, staring right at the camera, and he finally had something to say. And the third good thing is that we accept each other, and they've always made me feel special, even if I didn't talk to birds, make words flow out of my mind, or even glow prance on my arms. His heart filled with pride as he turned to the face of his classmates. They've made me feel loved.